we are accustomed to a certain disguised anti-Semitism coming from the left, and the attacks on Israel and Jewish influence in American politics, the claim that Israel is a colonizer, and also charges of genocide. That is the standard fare of the left and of the Democratic Party, particularly today's Democratic Party. But the attack from the right is new, and that is something of a surprise. And it's reached, I think, a disturbing pitch. So I do think it needs to be engaged directly. I've been a little reluctant myself to do that because a lot of these figures have been close to me over the years. I've spoken at a number of Candace Owens's
Yes.
events, Lexit. Last year, Tucker Carlson and I did a tour together, speaking in a number of Australian cities. Of course, this topic never came up. I
Right.
was involved quite early with the congressional campaign of Marjorie Taylor Greene. So it is with some discomfort and a lot of dismay that I see where these kind of new Pied Pipers are leading a lot of kind of confused and angry young people who are seeing their prospects in America not so good. And so the scapegoating of the Jews, in a way, Israel's to blame, Mossad is behind all this, is a kind of tempting falsehood.
And that's why I think it's so important someone like you talk about it, because you know these people, you know these figures. And so my question to you is where do you think this is coming from? Because my sense, Dinesh, and I don't know if you feel the same way, this whole anti-Israel, anti-Bibi Netanyahu, anti-Semitic language that you're seeing on X in particular and in very prominent conservative circles, it just seems to have exploded in strength and force and breadth in a way that I did not expect to see.
Yeah, I feel almost obliged to step into this debate also because, when Mark Levin says it or Josh Hammer says it, people go, well, yeah, that's the Jews, defending themselves. I'm not Jewish. As you know, I've made 8 documentary films. None of them have been about Israel. They've all been about the meaning of America. I'm squarely America first. And even though these days people are like, well, Dinesh, how much is like Netanyahu paying you? I've given hundreds of thousands of dollars to support biblical archaeology in Jerusalem. So my point is, listen, I'm not on Israel's payroll. Like they're on my payroll, to be honest, if you have to put it that way. But here's the point, and it is that I think the anti-Semitism has 2 kind of driving forces. On the basic level, there's a lot of envy built into it because the Jews are a very successful tribe
Yes.
in world history. They're not the only one. There are lots of other successful tribes, but they, despite persecution,
Right.
they have done enormously well in education, entrepreneurship. One reason people keep talking about Jewish billionaires is there actually are a lot of Jewish billionaires. They have exceeded expectations. They've done it on merit. Now, the other reason for the anti-Semitism, I think, is darker, and that is it comes straight, in a way, out of the pit of hell. And the movie, by the way, does not hesitate to go in this spiritual direction. Here's the basic idea. The reason we call it the dragon's prophecy is there's a image in the book of Revelation where a dragon, representing the devil, goes to war against a woman representing Israel. And the woman is actually pregnant, representing, of course, the Messiah, Jesus. Now, this is another way of saying is that there's a world behind the world. And when we often talk about spiritual warfare, we don't identify the combatants. Who's fighting and what are they fighting about? Well, the answer is it's God fighting against Satan. And what they're really fighting about is this: Satan wants to usurp the throne of God. Now, Satan cannot defeat God, but what Satan does is he picks on the things that are important to God. So in the Genesis 1, the very first chapter, why does Satan pick on Adam and Eve? What did Adam and Eve do to Satan? Nothing. But Satan says, hey, if I can take God's cherished creation, ruin them, I will get my revenge on God. And for the same reason, Satan targets the Jews. Why? If the Jews are the chosen people of God, Satan goes, listen, I'll throw them out of their own country. I'll eradicate them from the river to the sea. I will take their temple, the Solomonic temple, built 3,000 years ago by Solomon. I'm going to plant an Islamic victory arch called the Dome of the Rock right on top of it. And then I'm going to stick the Al-Aqsa Mosque right there. So this is all a way of saying that anti-Semitism, I think at the spiritual level, comes right from the dragon himself.